Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thank you very much for watching our earwax removal compilation video today. So we've got two patients in this compilation. The first patient here, you can see the wax looks very different to what we normally see in here. We've got this almost liquid wax that's hardened back up at the entrance to the canal here, and much deeper in there's this slightly harder wax again. I would say that this patient has at some point used some wax softening drops. It's softened a block of wax which has leaked out to the front of the canal and then re-hardened again in place. So it's ended up with this really thin film of dry wax all around the outside edge. So we're just using the standard size Zollner tube in here now just to slowly peel all the wax and skin debris from the entrance to this canal. You can see as we get a grip on it, it lifts and peels it away really easily. There we are, it's coming away nicely. We'll just clear this right hand side. You can see it peeling off that canal wall there just to the right. There we go. And we'll work our way in now. Just tidying up just around the entrance before we get a grip on this main bulk of wax further in. Now, what can happen sometimes, in fairness, a few of you have commented on this before, sometimes that block of wax further in can't come out because the wax at the entrance there is so firmly attached to the canal wall. And you can see here, as we've got a grip on this, you get this white to grey material just underneath. That's a bit of dry skin, sort of a bit of keratinous material just in there. It's all coming away from the canal wall nicely though. So we'll get a good grip on this central section, pulling as much into the suction as we can to maintain the grip. But as we pull this away, you'll see it stretches out, but it's just sheared off from the main bulk of wax behind. So quite a dry piece of wax there, dry plug. You can see as we go back in with the suction, how that skin material is flicking up into the suction all the time here. So we're just pulling a lot of that into the actual tube itself, getting a good grip because we want to try and detach as much of this from the canal wall as we possibly can. There we are. As that comes away, you'll see the whole thing. Look how smooth this is as it comes away now. You can see that sheen to it there, how smooth it is because it's been resting and sort of almost liquefied and then re-solidified against the canal wall there. So just tidying up this little bit of loose skin here at the entrance. We're opting for the technique where we go past what we're trying to remove and then draw backwards with the suction tube because it nips it off rather than running it all the way down. Lovely looking eardrum there. You can see the tip of the hammer bone is orientated to the right. You've got your light reflex pointing down to the right side as well at the base of the canal. So this is a right-sided eardrum, but looking lovely and healthy. You saw that little bit of oil left on the top there. That will come away with baths and showers, that bit. So you can see how much we've taken away there. So 1.5 centimeters just over, 3/4 of an inch there. So yeah, quite a big little sort of section of plugs there to come away. So this is the second patient out of compilation now. You can see they've got a main bulk of wax here inside the canal itself, and then as we did with the last patient, this very thin layer of wax just at the entrance to the canal. So it's the same thing for this patient. They've obviously used some form of wax softener, which a lot of people are using at the moment. So people will use a hydrogen peroxide base to the drops, or a sodium bicarb base to melt the fats and sort of liquefy it. But as you can see here, it's kind of liquefied it and re-hardened it, and this patient does suffer with a little bit of dry skin, so it's actually re-hardened it on top of already dry skin, which gives it this really tough external part to the wax, almost like a shell around the wax, like armadillo. So it's hard outer shell and a little bit softer in the center there. So you see it peeling away really nicely. You see how I avoided a food reference there, everybody? I'm taking it on board. So it's all coming away really well. If you've not come across our channel before, guys, we post new earwax removal videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9 PM UK time on YouTube, Facebook and on Instagram TV. So if you haven't come across our channel and you haven't subscribed already, then please consider subscribing and following. So you can see now we've got this layer that we've lifted off. You can see the white material underneath there. That's the dry skin. So it's hardened around that dry skin, so it's formed this really tough old plate around the outside of the ear canal. You saw me then using the crocodile forceps to go in and grab that. So as we lift up, because it's such a tough outer section, sometimes you're lucky, and if you imagine this is the flap that we're working on at the moment, if you put the crocodile forceps in and clamp there, sometimes the whole thing, because it's such a hard outer shell, will pull the whole thing out with it. But you can see it's just kind of it's wiggling back and forth in there. It's not quite coming out, but we're almost there. So we're just going to grab this section now, see if we can get this to bring the next section, the main plug and bulk of wax forwards. It's not really budged there, unfortunately. Let's work off from this side again, lifting with the jaws of the forceps. There we are. You can see it's not quite coming away. There we are. It's not really budging very well at the moment. So we're going to keep peeling. We're going to keep lifting and peeling this off the canal wall. What's happening at the moment is we're lifting this base section, but the side sections are just that little bit further in and we can't peel those yet, but they're anchoring this piece of wax into place. So we're going to shift now. We've detached this bottom section. Let's shift position. We're working on the top now, trying to roll this wax forward, because chances are with gravity, that top section is not going to be attached. So if we can roll it down the canal, towards us, we may be able to just fold this wax end over end and pull this towards us. Got a good grip, got a flatter surface there, slightly softer you can see because the suction tube is leaving the impression in there. So we've got the olive oil in here now. We just introduced a little bit of olive oil. It's going to help me to get a better suction grip. It's going to stop this wax from re-sticking against the canal wall as well. Trying to wiggle this forwards. You can see we're getting the grip. It's getting a little bit of freer movement now. You can just see it starting to rock back and forth slightly. There we are. We're pulling it forward. So we're maintaining the suction and slowly drawing this down the canal. Lifting from the base of the canal there, wiggling back and forth. You can see all of that grey, sort of whitish grey material at the base there. And we're just drawing this top section forwards. Out this comes. You can see how hard that is. See the white skin underneath there where it's been holding in place. So that's broken the top section. It's going to give us a little bit of movement now in the canal because we've taken some of this away. But as we lift here, you can see another layer of dry skin there underneath, holding all of this and binding it in place. Getting a good grip on the outside edge, wiggling now from the right. You can see the wax is starting to turn slightly. There we are, it's on its way, just gentle pressure here, up and down. There we go, and out this pops. Look at all that skin material underneath. You can see why this was really held in place there. It was all embedded and dried into that wax underneath. Now you can see the eardrum here, looks quite grey and dull. Obviously that wax has been in there a long time, hasn't been able to come away. The skin hasn't been able to migrate away from the eardrum particularly well. Now that's all clear, that natural migration process can start taking place again now. This little bit you can see, the red bit at the entrance to the canal, there's actually a little tiny thread of cotton that's attached to that bit of dry skin. It's not blood. So what we've got now is, this is the patient's second, is the left ear, because I was the right side last time, so the second ear. And what you can see with this one is exactly the same thing. The wax softening drops have gone in. There was originally a block of wax in here, but what's happened is it's melted the front, so all that's flowed down the canal and stuck to the canal wall. So you've ended up with this tapered looking piece of wax, so the solid piece here tapering down the canal. So we're lifting off this base of the canal first because we can't get a grip on that base section, that rear section and plug of wax. It's resting right against the eardrum and that won't budge until we get this section away from the front first. So you can see what I'm trying to do here is lift, raise this front section, detach it from the skin underneath, but it's not really budging. So we're going to peel a little bit from the left hand side as well, looking for any movement here to this piece of wax. You can see the little dry flakes from the dry skin in there as well. So we popped a bit of olive oil in here. It's going to help to loosen this up. If we can lift it, the olive oil will work underneath that wax as well. You can see the eardrum there, that sort of bluish grey colour you can see to the right side of the suction tube every so often. That's the actual eardrum itself. So you can see how deep this piece of wax is. And I'm trying to get a grip on this. There's only just about enough room to pop the suction tube on top of this. Hit a little bit of olive oil. You can see it just blurred the vision on the camera there. So just really working around, all around the outside edge here. Looking, the reason I'm aiming for the bottom section is because this wax, if it's liquefied, it's probably ended up in the valley. Now the difficulty if it ends up in the valley is that it's going to have hardened into the shape of that valley. So the difficulty you have there, I think I just showed you the same bit twice, but the difficulty you have there is that if it flows into that shape, if you take the top away and leave that there, it's going to be really difficult to get that out. So I'm concentrating to try and get that bottom section out of the valley first, and then we're going to try and get this top section away. But you can see it's awkward to get to. It's just behind that kind of prominent part of the eardrum that juts out just before the ear canal, but we're getting a good grip. We're listening for the noise of the suction as well. got the grip. There we go. So we've pulled that out of the valley now. We're lifting up and drawing towards the camera here to try and bring this out. You can see you could have just spotted them. There's a little bit of dry skin. And look, the whole thing's come away in one piece. So you can see the hammer bone oriented to the left-hand side there, so a left ear canal. Look at that. So we've got 2.5 centimeters, inch and 1/8 there. So quite a large amount of wax coming out of that ear canal there. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did enjoy voicing it over for you. So if you do enjoy the videos, then give us a like. If you're not subscribed already, then please subscribe. As always, guys, take care of yourselves and one another. I shall see you tomorrow for the short. We're talking about why our ears pop tomorrow in the short, because that was one of the questions that kept coming up in the last couple of videos. So we're going to explain that one tomorrow for you. And I'll see you again on Wednesday for episode 400. Ooh, I wonder what I can do for that one.